Chapter 4 of The People That Time Forgot. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Ralph Snelson. The People That Time Forgot by Edgar Rice Burroughs. Chapter 4. We spent 2 days upon the cliff top, resting and recuperating. There was some small game which gave us meat, and the little pools of rainwater were sufficient to quench our thirst. The sun came out a few hours after we emerged from the cave, and in its warmth we soon cast off the gloom which our recent experiences had saddled upon us. Upon the morning of the 3rd day we set out to search for a path down to the valley. Below us, to the north, we saw a large pool lying at the foot of the cliffs, and in it we could discern the women of the Band lu lying in the shallow waters, while beyond and close to the base of the mighty barrier cliffs there was a large party of Band lu warriors going north to hunt. We had a splendid view from our lofty cliff top. Dimly to the west we could see the farther shore of the inland sea, and southwest the large southern island loomed distinctly before us. A little east of north was the northern island, which Ajor, shuddering, whispered was the home of the Wieroo, the land of Oo. It lay at the far end of the lake and was barely visible to us, being fully 60 miles away. From our elevation and in a clearer atmosphere it would have stood out distinctly, but the air of Caspak is heavy with moisture, with the result that distant objects are blurred and indistinct. Ajor also told me that the mainland east of Oo was her land, the land of the Galu. She pointed out the cliffs at its southern boundary which marked the frontier, south of which lies the country of Kro lu, the archers. We had now but to pass through the balance of the Band lu territory and that of the Kro lu to be within the confines of her own land. But that meant traversing 35 miles of hostile country filled with every imaginable terror, and possibly many beyond the powers of imagination. I would certainly have given a lot for my plane at that moment, for with it 20 minutes would have landed us within the confines of Ajor's country. We finally found a place where we could slip over the edge of the cliff onto a narrow ledge which seemed to give evidence of being something of a game path to the valley, though it apparently had not been used for some time. I lowered Ajor at the end of my rifle and then slid over myself, and I am free to admit that my hair stood on end during the process, for the drop was considerable and the ledge appallingly narrow, with a frightful drop sheer below down to the rocks at the base of the cliff. But with Ajor there to catch and steady me, I made it all right, and then we set off down the trail toward the valley. There were 2 or 3 more bad places, but for the most part it was an easy descent, and we came to the highest of the Band lu caves without further trouble. Here we went more slowly, lest we should be set upon by some member of the tribe. We must have passed about half the Band lu cave levels before we were accosted, and then a huge fellow stepped out in front of me, barring our further progress. "Who are you?" he asked, and he recognized me and I him, for he had been one of those who had led me back into the cave and bound me the night that I had been captured. From me his gaze went to Ajor. He was a fine looking man with clear, intelligent eyes, a good forehead and superb physique, by far the highest type of Caspakian I had yet seen, barring Ajor, of course. "You are a true Galu," he said to Ajor, "but this man is of a different mold. He has the face of a Galu, but his weapons and the strange skins he wears upon his body are not of the Galus nor of Caspak. Who is he?" "He is Tom," replied Ajor succinctly. "There is no such people," asserted the Band lu quite truthfully, toying with his spear in a most suggestive manner. "My name is Tom," I explained, "and I am from a country beyond Caspak." I thought it best to propitiate him if possible, because of the necessity of conserving ammunition as well as to avoid the loud alarm of a shot which might bring other Band lu warriors upon us. "I am from America, a land of which you never heard, and I am seeking others of my countrymen who are in Caspak and from whom I am lost. I have no quarrel with you or your people. Let us go our way in peace." "You are going there?" he asked, and pointed toward the north. "I am," I replied. He was silent for several minutes, apparently weighing some thought in his mind. At last he spoke. "What is that?" he asked. "And what is that?" He pointed first at my rifle and then to my pistol. "They are weapons," I replied, "weapons which kill at a great distance." I pointed to the women in the pool beneath us. "With this," I said, tapping my pistol, "I could kill as many of those women as I cared to, without moving a step from where we now stand." He looked his incredulity, but I went on. "And with this," I weighed my rifle at the balance in the palm of my right hand, "I could slay one of those distant warriors," and I waved my left hand toward the tiny figures of the hunters far to the north. The fellow laughed. "Do it," he cried derisively, "and then it may be that I shall believe the balance of your strange story." "But I do not wish to kill any of them," I replied. "Why should I?" "Why not?" he insisted. "They would have killed you when they had you prisoner. They would kill you now if they could get their hands on you, and they would eat you into the bargain. But I know why you do not try it. It is because you have spoken lies. Your weapon will not kill at a great distance. It is only a queerly wrought club. For all I know, you are nothing more than a lowly Bo lu." "Why should you wish me to kill your own people?" I asked. "They are no longer my people," he replied proudly. "Last night, in the very middle of the night, the call came to me. Like that it came into my head," and he struck his hands together smartly once, "that I had risen. I have been waiting for it and expecting it for a long time. Today I am a Kro lu. Today I go into the cos-lu-pak, unpeopled country, or literally no man's land, between the Band-lu and the Kro-lu, and there I fashion my bow and my arrows and my shield. There I hunt the red deer for the leathern jerkin which is the badge of my new estate. When these things are done, I can go to the chief of the Kro-lu, and he dare not refuse me. That is why you may kill those low Band-lu if you wish to live, for I am in a hurry." "But why do you wish to kill me?" I asked. He looked puzzled and finally gave it up. "I do not know," he admitted. "It is the way in Caspak. If we do not kill, we shall be killed. Therefore it is wise to kill first whomever does not belong to one's own people. This morning I hid in my cave till the others were gone upon the hunt, for I knew that they would know at once that I had become a Kro-lu and would kill me. They will kill me if they find me in the cos-lu-pak. So will the Kro-lu if they come upon me before I have won my Kro-lu weapons and jerkin. You would kill me if you could, and that is the reason I know that you speak lies when you say that your weapons will kill at a great distance. Would they, you would long since have killed me. Come, I have no more time to waste in words. I will spare the woman and take her with me to the Kro-lu, for she is comely." And with that he advanced upon me with raised spear. My rifle was at my hip at the ready. He was so close that I did not need to raise it to my shoulder, having but to pull the trigger to send him into kingdom come whenever I chose. But yet I hesitated. It was difficult to bring myself to take a human life. I could feel no enmity toward this savage barbarian who acted almost as wholly upon instinct as might a wild beast, and to the last moment I was determined to seek some way to avoid what now seemed inevitable. Ajor stood at my shoulder, her knife ready in her hand, and a sneer on her lips at his suggestion that he would take her with him. Just as I thought I should have to fire, a chorus of screams broke from the women beneath us. I saw the man halt and glance downward, and following his example, my eyes took in the panic and its cause. The women had evidently been quitting the pool and slowly returning toward the caves when they were confronted by a monstrous cave lion which stood directly between them and their cliffs in the center of the narrow path that led down to the pool among the tumbled rocks. Screaming, the women were rushing madly back to the pool. "It will do them no good," remarked the man, a trace of excitement in his voice. "It will do them no good, for the lion will wait until they come out and take as many as he can carry away. And there is one there," he added, a trace of sadness in his tone, "whom I hoped would soon follow me to the Kro-lu. Together have we come up from the beginning." He raised his spear above his head and poised it ready to hurl downward at the lion.